Hi everybody, hope STEM class is going well. I am here today to tell you how to make a paper lantern that actually glows inside. So your supplies are going to be one of these templates, a pair of scissors. I suggest the little teeny scissors. They're on the bookshelf next to my desk. Probably a pencil. I'm going to use a pen so you can see it better on the video. You're going to need one of these guys, and this is a scoring tool. It's used to score lines in your paper rather than cut lines. And then a little kit that has a battery pack and some lights for the inside of your lantern. So that's all the supplies you'll need. You're probably also going to need some of those glue dots or some Elmer's glue to glue your lantern together. So let's get started. All right, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to trace the outline of your template, and you're going to want one of those little cardboard pieces to put underneath for when you do the scoring, because you want to have a surface that kind of gives a little bit, because that way you can have a nice deep mark on your paper. But I can set that aside for a minute. I'm going to turn my paper to the back side, and there's my template. So I'm going to put my template down on the paper, and then all along the outside edge I'm going to draw with my pen or pencil, but don't do the little inside lines. Okay, so there it goes all the way around. And actually, you can go ahead and do the inside lines too with your pencil if that makes it easier. Since this is going to be the inside of your lantern, it won't matter if there are some pencil marks on it. Okay, so yep, my pen won't work with those anyway. So those middle lines are where you're going to use the scoring tool. So what you want to do is, I've got my outline here. I'm going to take my squishy surface, and then I'll put the template over it again. You'll notice there are a whole bunch of different options for the templates. So it just depends on what you want your lantern to look like. So I'm just going to run that scoring tool through those grooves. All the inside grooves, you don't have to worry about the outside one, because the outside one you're going to cut out. You want to be nice and firm so that you get a good groove, but you don't want to be so firm that you basically cut a hole in your paper. So just kind of go over it a couple of times for each one. Make sure your template's all lined up nicely. Now, the places that you're scoring are where you are going to fold it. So you're going to remember your origami project a little bit while you're doing this, because this is kind of a type of origami. All right, so I'm going to pull this out, and I don't know if you can see it very well, but I can see the lines that I scored really clearly, so I've done that well. All right, so now I'm going to cut it out, and I'm not going to make you watch the whole time I'm cutting this out. And you can just use regular scissors for this part of the cutting out, and the part that you want the little teeny scissors for are when you're going to cut some little windows in your lantern. So I'm going to go ahead and hit pause for a second while I cut out all the details so that you don't get bored. All right, so once you have this all cut out, you can actually fold along all the spots where you made the scores, and that can kind of tell you what your lantern's going to end up looking like. And some of these patterns are easier than others, so you might want to choose wisely. I picked one of the more complicated ones just to show you how it's done. All right, so once you have that, all along any of these triangles on here could possibly be a window, and I need to make some windows so that you can see the light shining from the inside. Now, unfortunately, without me there, you can't get certified in using an X-Acto knife, so you're going to have to use the scissors. And this is where the little teeny scissors come in handy, because what you can do is just kind of fold and cut a little hole, and then you can cut out the middle of your triangle with your scissors. And those little teeny scissors are really good because they have a nice sharp point. Be careful with that sharp point, but that should make it doable to cut some little windows. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a few little windows, and I'll put it on time lapse so that you don't have to be too bored. They do not have to be perfect, but it's nice if you have at least a few of them so the light can shine through. All right, so I'm folding down the tabs now, and this is what's going to hold my lantern together. And again, this is from the scores we made earlier. All right, so if I pull this around, you can see those little tabs go right under each of the folds, and we'll make this into kind of a jewel shape. And it will make our lantern. So I'm going to do half of this, but then before I can do anything else, I need to add the lights. So you're going to want to take the lights out of the package and make sure they work. And they work for me. So in just a minute, we're going to get to have some fun with those. So at this point, I've provided you with some glue dots, and the easiest thing to do is just to put your dots along the smooth edge and then fold over, and it should just stick together. I don't have any glue dots, so I'm having to try to do this with tape, but I will tell you it's way easier with glue dots. All right, so together it goes, and once you get the top half done, or the bottom half, I guess doesn't really matter, then you can add the lights. So here's the difference with origami, is you're not supposed to use any glue or tape. So that makes it a little easier. So when you're finished here, you should not have to reach into your lantern except to turn your lights on and off. So there's your lantern, and it's got the top half. Pretty clumsy on my end, but I'm kind of in a hurry. So I'm going to take my lights and I'm going to unwind. Now be careful because you don't want to break the wire, and it's a very thin wire. And after what you've hopefully learned about circuits, you know that if you break the wire, it breaks the circuit, and then you won't have any lights left. Now this is a pretty easy to replace battery, so if you end up using up all your lights because you're enjoying your lantern so much, you can just replace the battery with one you can get at just about any store. So, okay, so I've kind of unwound my lights a bit, and I am just going to, again, suggest you use your glue dot, and I'm going to glue this right down inside, but I want to put the on-off switch near one of my windows so it's easy to turn on and off. So you can see my on-off switch is visible from one of my windows. Okay, so then I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. I need to fold over my tabs that I did with my scoring tool. And I'm going to take my wire, and if you would like to make it look a little more artistic, you can tape it or glue dot it to various spots on the inside, or if you don't care, just leave it. And then I'm going to go ahead and tape the bottom together. So I'll go ahead and pause while I do that. Once you get everything put together and tidied up, you can actually add a ribbon to the top, or even just loop it through some of your windows, and that way you can hang it, and hopefully you have left your switch somewhere accessible, and if you turn it on, voila, you have a beautiful lantern that you can hang and enjoy. Or you have a ready-made Mother's Day present. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Thanks.